Hi guys, Dustin here with another Star Trek, the official Starships collection from Eagle Moss, and today we are taking a look at the Borg Sphere. The ship is active in the 24th century with a speed of transwarp, diameter is 600 meters, and can hold up to 11,000 drones. So, inside we'll take a look. And for the stand assembly, this is much more unique design. It simply fits into the bottom of the model, so it does not matter which way up the ship is, but we'll get around to it when we get there. Its affiliation is the Borg Collective. It's actually the most feared adversaries of the Federation. It's a long-range tactical vessel. Top speed is transport capable, holds up to 11,000 Borg drones. Its weaponry includes tractor beams, cutting beams, and projectile missiles. So let's go take a look. There she is. Borg Sphere. The Borg Sphere encountering is a chilling experience as it meant most certain simulation to the Borg Collective. If you play Star Trek Online, you would actually see a lot of these. When there's like a Borg invasion of a sector block. Spherical, but the outer surface far from regular and smooth. Raised in inset sections spread streaks of luminescent green that glowed between the myriad conduits, paneling, and pipes covering the exteriors. So you can actually see some green off it, like right here. We'll actually take a look at the Sphere later on. During the Battle of Sector 001, the Borg Sphere was used as a lifeboat because the fact that the Borg cube was far from destruction. We'll point on the destruction. And not surprisingly, as a relentless, efficient, logical race, Borg do not give their individual ship names, but refer to them by numbers like 634 or 878. Next page. There's more of it. A cylindrical core structure is at the center of every sphere. The material is vast and large enough to accommodate entire starships. They can be broken down and assimilated after they have been towed inside by a tractor beam. And what I did not cover was that the interior of the ship is a mixture of organic and mechanical elements that gave it appearance almost like the arteries and organs entwined around circularly, but the outside of the sphere is made of polytrinic and titanium alloys. So being inside a Borg Sphere, it's like being inside of a human body. This is the sphere that was launched from the Borg cube during the Battle of Sector 001. It was actually time traveling back to 2063 to stop mankind make its first faster-than-light journey, which resulted in humanity's first contact with the Vulcans. Borg was very huge in the movie Star Trek First Contact. U-709 is actually removing a transwarp coil, and each sphere is actually equipped with several coils, and these devices allow them to travel speeds for greater than what was possible with standard warp drive. Now, each ship was equipped with a central plexus that linked it to every Borg ship via a sophisticated subspace communications network. That means every ship instantly knew that every other Borg ship was doing at any one time. Powerful beams became a vital part of the Borg Sphere's armaments. Now, if you play Star Trek Online, this is very very annoying. Because polarized hull, I've tried that. It does not do anything. I may be wrong on some facts about using polarized beam on something like this. Because once that drags you in, you're doomed. This prevents the ship from escaping and simultaneously draining shields and rendering it helpless. A cutting beam could be used to slice out sections of ship, like the Borg cube with the USS Enterprise D. In the one episode, I, Borg. I'll leave a link down in the description of that episode if it's there. If it's on YouTube. If not, well, it's okay. I'll leave a link to the Memory Alpha, which is the official Star Trek encyclopedia online, but we'll get off of that. In 2378, crew Voyager discovered a Borg transwarp hull inside Nebula in the Delta Quadrant. This hub actually connects to a network of transwarp conduits that exits throughout the whole entire galaxy. Using these hubs, the Borg vessels could travel tens of thousands of light years in a matter of minutes, faster than any ship. Traveling in conventional warp. Now, most important devices, Borg vessel was the Culum, which is a processing device containing a transneural matrix that linked up all minds of drones and ships so that all information was shared and allowed them to act as one. So, let's take a look. Ooh, this is not pretty. Borg assimilation. Can you imagine happening this to you? The assimilation process is actually one of the most traumatic things ever. For Captain Picard, he actually had nightmares being about the drone once he has temporary assimilation, which is best of both worlds, parts 1 and 2. Actually one of my favorite Star Trek episodes. The captain of the Enterprise, D, stated that in their collective state that the Borg are utterly without mercy, driven by one goal alone, will conquer. They're beyond redemption, beyond reason. In an act of assimilation, once these drones come up to you, the first stage involves the drone using their needle-sharp tubules to inject nanoprobes into the victim, as seen here. These microscopic nanoprobes are latched into the blood cells and took over their own functions. Seen here, a microscope scanner of the artificial nanoprobes seen taking over hosts individual blood cells, the red blood cells as seen here, rewriting their official DNA. So it's basically being eaten from the inside. Once that victim has been injected, skin turns like an ashen and spidery black. Skin turns like an ashen white kind of color, and spidery black veins appeared all over them. So that means they're aware of what's happening around to them, but appear powerless to resist. And also another stage is that every cortical node containing a fail-safe mechanism shuts down higher brain functions newly created drone to regain their emotions to a sense of individuality. Seen here, Borg implants, like a neural receiver, is seen here, planted onto a victim's upper spinal column during the simulation process. So this device is actually linked with the victim and the collective and allow them to communicate more effectively, well, efficiently. The cortical node is planted in the brain just above the eye, and the device regulates the functions of all the Borg implants preventing them from being rejected by the host's immune system. For the final part of this procedure, victims are actually taken to a simulation chamber where changes are made to the brain's motor pathways. Eyepieces are actually inserted in limbs replaced with prosthetics. Once fully simulated, they look like this. They're much more armored ready for war. The drone is actually equipped with so many cybernetic implants that no longer need food or water and could exist in environments normally harmful to humanoids, like vacuum of space, the cold, heat. It's actually so traumatic that Captain Picard was haunted by the experiences, had nightmares that was happening to him again. He knew that Borg were without mercy and that the B drone can be a fate worse than death. Designing the sphere, it basically looks like a planet. This is actually from the studio built in Industrial Light and Magic, 2 feet in diameter and covered in acid-etched brass. Basically like some of these designs. This one's actually decided should be spherical in shape. Later design had more pronounced and irregular paneling. Felt that the weapon, represented by a series of rings in the middle of the sphere, is too similar to the Death Star from Star Wars. Basically, it's this thing. Actually, the center part basically looks like when the green beam fires. So it basically kind of looks like Death Star from Star Wars. So, I'm not throwing any bad about Star Wars. This illustration is one that was signed off by the producers and writers. So the design of the Borg Queen, this is kind of pretty new. This is actually the overall look of a Borg Queen, and it's actually one collaborative effort between concept artists, makeup designers, and makeup artists. This is actually Alex Jaeger. Alex Jaeger actually worked up some designs of how this happened. So this is basically the whole entire storyline from first contact with the entrance of the Borg Queen, with its disembodied head being lowered in the conduits of her weighing body. Her metallic spinal column hung beneath her torso and wiggled around the air till it descended to her slender black-clad body. She appears to shiver, but it's actually one of the best entrances ever. But why need for a queen? It's born out of the need to have a specific villain to deal with. Once up the problems is right here, doing the Borg to their high mind is a collective conscious. This was actually an early design concept that Alex Jaeger came up with the look of Borg Queen. Colleagues at Industrial Light and Magic helped him out by modeling. So, the first impression, Jonathan Frakes, who also plays as William Riker, so he had to do double deed between being director and being an actor at the same time. So, he considered the entrance of the Borg Queen with her head, shoulders, and wriggling metallic spine lowered by cables attached to her weighing body as a signature visual effects in the film. Actually one of the best entrances. And the collective was cold, implacable, without emotion. But actually the Borg Queen is actually much, much different comparing to the drones themselves. She revealed the sensuality of her body and was prepared to use any means disposed to get what she wanted, including trying to get seduce Captain Picard and for Data the chance to experience pleasures of having human flesh. She met her first demise in Star Trek First Contact when she was consumed by leaking plasma coolant. She actually So Data actually busted that plasma coolant and she later returns. The fact that she later returned appears to indicate that although her physical manifestation could be destroyed in her essential being consciousness, Lizon could be downloaded into a new physical form. Susanna Thompson took over the role for several episodes of Star Trek Voyager, so the look essentially unchanged, and Thompson wore the same Borg Queen suits that Alice Cringe wore, and note that Alex Cringe actually is a much better Borg Queen. So, on screen, she first appeared in Star Trek First Contact, the movie, and Star Trek Voyager. It's the only time that could be seen. The day Picard experienced during 6 years finally arrived as Starfleet's most formidable enemy, the Borg, are detected heading directly for Earth. Previous traumatic experience, he was ordered not to interfere, but Borg Q designated fleet since intercepted. He ordered the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701E, to battle. He managed to destroy the Q, but not before it launches a spear which travels back to 2063 to prevent mankind from making first contact with the Vulcans. It's actually one of my favorite Next Generation movies. Dark Frontier from Star Trek Voyager the USS Voyager launched a Dash's plan to steal a transwarp coil from a damaged Borg Sphere. It helped to integrate this key component of Borg faster-than-light technology to Voyager's warp systems travel 1,000 light years in a few days, taking years off their journey home. Unfortunately, this plan was learned by the Borg Queen and used this knowledge to attempt to return 709 to the Borg by issuing her an ultimatum: rejoin the collective or watch as Voyager gets assimilated. Sphere 634 was one of the few ships Borg Sphere managed to stay in contact when she had infected Admiral Janeway's Neuralic pathogen. Alright, so anyway, the Borg Queen sent the Sphere to pursue the Voyager through a transwarp conduit towards the Alpha Quadrant. Once it caught up, opened the hatch and engulfed Voyager. And emerged from the conduit, Sphere destroyed them from within by transmastic torpedo, leaving Voyager fly free, safely back in the Alpha Quadrant. We're talking about War Endgame here. The movie. Not the movie, but the series finale. This final episode of Star Trek Voyager, which was actually this series finale. Alright, so 709's full name as Borg was 7 of 9. Tertiary adjunct of Unimatrix 01. This subsection of the collective operated in close association with the Borg Queen. And this was actually a very good fast fact. The costume worn by Alice Cringe from Star Trek First Contact is actually made out of hard rubber. It's so tight it actually gave her blisters. Second foam suit had to be made overnight. Although she wear the painful silver contact lens that can only be worn for 4 minutes at a time. Ouch! That hurts. And next issue is issue 11. We're going to be taking a look at the USS Reliant, the ship hijacked by Khan. And so you actually have the back cover. And let's actually take a look at the packaging. It's not much. It's a little much more unique design compared to some of the other ones that we have. Like this one's from the USS Excelsior. It's actually much more smaller in size. So, alright, so I'm gonna open this up and we'll actually take a look at the USS not Voyager, but the Borg Sphere. So, I'm going to be right back. Okay, so here is the Borg Sphere. This is actually one. It's actually just a die-cast ball. Actually feels like a baseball too. So let's actually compare that to the size of a baseball. Kind of looks like the same. And you can actually feel the texture of the Borg Sphere. It actually has some greenage, which is basically the luminescent green coming off. And this is actually one of the many, actually has 2 different little pegs for display, so it doesn't matter which way you can actually display it. As seen here. So I'm going to display it like that. This is actually one of the first of the many for the Borg. Overall, I like the ship. Much more unique design than basically the other starships that I have. So, yeah. Overall, I like it. It's pretty cool. And it's actually much of the same size with a baseball in comparison. So, yeah, my name's Dustin, and I will see you when I release the USS Reliant video. So, I'll see you again.